Nothing inspires more nostalgia and wonder than the musky and warm smell of books and turning pages. Well, other than petrichor. My Blood the Ink, the Dante Diaries.
Dance me if you can.
Okay. Welcome to the fifth episode of the Dante Diaries, a companion podcast to My Blood the Ink, written and directed by Jay Cottle. My name is
Hey,
Tiniqua, a lover of storytelling of all kinds, and president of the author Jay Cottle's fan club and Akeem's Alchemy. On today's episode, we will be discussing episode 5, The Exhibition, or just Exhibition.
yeah.
Joining us today is the mastermind, author and director Jay Cottle, and sadly not Miguel Landestoy. He is
No.
under the weather, so please send him lots of love. But no worries. We have a guest known to be quick and seamless. The charming seamstress herself, Sybella, better known as Shavonne Brown. Welcome,
Hello.
friends.
Hi, friends.
Hello.
How wow. So your weekly recap. Episode 5 is truly the calm before the storm. Dante is woken up from his nap by Sybella, who has arrived to take his measurements. As she does, Dante is let in on the history of the Septentry, how the Septentry was formed by the mysterious death of many deities, and a warning slash advice to keep his eyes open and be careful.
Hmm.
Along with her thoughts on convocation in Atlantis itself. Fast forward, we arrive at exhibition, and it's like the Olympics meets WWE energy. We are introduced to Oceanus, and as the battle begins, we quickly find out that this will not be a normal exhibition. Oceanus is stronger than before, and this time has friends. So, Sybella, let's see how you measure up, honey.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
okay. That was slick.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, Sharon, welcome to the Dante Diaries. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes. I am Shavonne. I play Sybella. And My Blood the Ink. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to dive in. It was a literally the episode is the calm before the storm.
No
Like,
Truly.
way.
Like, truly.
yeah,
Truly.
it's gonna get juicy.
Like, I mean, we're gonna get into it, but the way Jay tried to kill off my baby daddy, Coco Iwilu, I don't appreciate. Don't appreciate. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you didn't. You didn't kill him off, but I'm just saying, it seems like you trying to get rid of him, and I don't like it.
Dang.
I don't know where that came from. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Anyway,
doing well.
we'll get in there.
The
But
baby is doing well.
I know I love my baby daddy. Anyway, Sybella is such a baddie. Tell me, how did it feel to record the scenes for episode 5?
Um, I'm honestly thinking about, I would say in the beginning, I was really trying to find like my in to Sybella because it's described as like, she is older, but also like, there's some sass and there's confidence and she's confident and good at what she does. And I'm like, what is that voice? Like, how can I tap in? And I was going back and forth with Jay about you know, like what does he see for this character? And he brought up Shirley Ralph, and I was like, that is perfect. And so I was really trying to tap into Shirley Ralph's confidence and like just the diva and like even just how she speaks. And so I really think that that was just a good fit, like just characteristics wise for Sybella. So it was really interesting and fun, just like tapping into that confidence and that like flirtiness, but also just like having like, just like mother vibes at the same time. So yeah, it was fun to play around with those characteristics.
I
Yeah.
love that. I
Her.
mean, you
She's a
you
baddie.
she's truly just a baddie, and she's so smooth. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, she's just
Listen,
so
she's been around the
smooth.
block. Okay.
Truly been around the block. A time of 3. You feel me? Um, but I mean, adding on to that, you kind of told us what your process was, but I would love to know, like, what was your favorite moment from recording or from the table read? The flirting between you and Dante, aka your best friend Jay, is so seamless and smooth. Like, just the chemistry
Honestly,
was so good.
that was honestly my favorite. Just us bouncing off of each other was just it was just so good. It was so funny. Like I feel like there were moments where we like chuckled a little bit, like
Hmm.
even just delivering the lines, but like that chemistry alone was honestly my favorite.
Hmm.
And even just like the little slick things that he says to Sybella,
Yes.
I'm just like, yes, this is I love this interaction. Like
Yeah.
it was honestly my favorite.
And I mean, this is clearly not your first time acting, but it is like your first time doing a voice recording role. And just like hearing it, I feel like it really came to you naturally. Like you really picked up on this character. Sybella, um, as I mentioned, like before we started recording, Sybella is loved. Like people
Yeah.
really appreciate how smooth she is and how like
Mhm.
my little sister Allison, shout out to her, freaking
Hey.
loves you. So it's just like
Oh,
it's really, really, really nice.
I love that.
Sybella is clearly wise beyond her years, and she has been her character has been instrumental in helping to deepen the lore and really
Mhm.
flesh out the world building of Atlantis. So I would love to know, like, did you know this coming into the recording? And Jay, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Also, your thoughts on the recording process.
I did know this. There was a lot of just talk about the character too, so that I can understand like her role in Atlantis. So, just knowing how like just appreciated she is and valued in Atlantis, I think even spoke to the confidence that I had to like really show in that character, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So yeah, definitely knew she was a baddie from the start. And I'm so glad to even hear that like, people really love Sybella because I'm like, it just shows that okay, I did it justice.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did, and you originated the role. It's all you, girl.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
you. No. I think it was important for me to have a character like Sybella because a lot of the people that Dante meets in Atlantis are either politicians in the sovereigns or Selwyn, who is like a
Hmm.
representative for it. So they're always going to present a version of Atlantis that's a little bit sanitized, that's going to be more polished, that's going to be like speaking to the best of Atlantis.
Hmm.
Whereas somebody like Sybella, who's a worker, right, like can maybe speak to a different reality than they one would or maybe two even could because they don't have to necessarily live with the lived realities of Atlantis from a certain level because again they're
Hmm.
up here in a way
Right.
that like someone like Sybella would. So it was interesting to like you get the tour from the tour guide, but then you get the
Hmm.
tea from like one of the students. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
Yes.
that's what that
Yes.
vibe is of like here's how it
Hmm.
really is working,
Mhm.
what's
Who
really
knows
going on.
the ins and out, like the
Right.
reality of it.
Yeah.
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 So that's why it was important for her to exist in that way and to kind of share again more of the information that Dante probably would not have found out from anyone else.
Yeah.
I love recording with my peoples and like oh,
Siobhan.
I know that's exactly what it was. I almost slipped out. I was like, and so dip no. So,
Because it's so natural. I'm
I
like,
know.
I was like, I knew it. I knew it as
Siobhan.
soon as he paused. Siobhan.
do this nickname.
We're trying to be respectful because Siobhan is our best
Yes,
friend. So
100%. So Siobhan and I
Yeah.
had really good. And you know what's so interesting? Okay, I'm gonna spill a little bit of tea about how Siobhan was like to work with. So
okay.
Siobhan is also in Petrichor, which we're also in.
Yes.
And there's
Yes.
like a running joke that we have in Petrichor.
Child.
Like whenever I'm the
I
music
know they love
director, and sometimes I will hear something or clock something, and I'll put it in the little bank and be like, we're gonna come back to that and circle back to it later. Siobhan will just stop and be like, we we don't want to address how wrong that was just now.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Just fix it now. We're here.
Right. And so some of that comes into the process because, I was going back and forth with like directing because I felt like I've written this, I'm acting in it. To direct it also is a lot. And I feel like it's going to put me in a space where like my mind is fractured, very much like how I felt in Petrichor, of just like I gotta sing, but then I gotta listen. And so I was just like, it might be good to have a director, but time happened and I couldn't find somebody. And so, in a lot of ways, Shavonne was functioning as the assistant director. And so, when I'd be in that booth, and she'd be like, "Boop, so yeah, let's, if we could." So it was just nice to see that information there. But again, to hear from someone I trusted was really helpful. So, and she wouldn't lie to me. She'd be like, I think we could do that again. And like, and they'd be like, okay, that did not land. All right, great. Do it again. All right, cool. That was great.
Sometimes it's needed, okay?
Listen. As the victim of that side eye on multiple occasions,
So funny.
I get it. I get it. So
It
Believe
was
in
very
us.
helpful here.
Yeah.
you aren't alone. You aren't alone, Jay. Um, cause she'll get you. But anyway,
She'll get
that's
you
neither here
together.
nor there.
Yeah.
She will get you together. With speaking of beloved roles, Jay, before we talk about exhibition, please get into Bethesda.
Listen,
I know it.
Bethesda Bethesda is so beautifully annoying and weird, and I love
no.
her.
Yeah.
She's so great.
These actors all got a chance to play multiple roles. I think literally all of them, whether I mean some of the sovereigns mostly just play the sovereigns, but like sometimes they'll also do like, the sea voices and blah blah blah. So they had opportunities to just like do different stuff. I love Dante, but so much of this is just me being one character. And
Yeah.
I was like, it could be fun if like I had a little something. And so Bethesda's the only time I get to play a different character. Hilarious. I like couldn't get it together for a little bit. So we had that took like one or two takes for sure. Um, but I love me some Bethesda Shrunken Shell, and I think honestly what I love too about her is I don't know why, but that last line where she just says like I think sometimes when you're trying to like recreate a moment or feel what you feel, honestly, that line where she talks about the kelp and how she's tried to like make the recipe again, but like it never hit the same. It was kind of pulled from a memory I had when I think I was living in Connecticut, but came back to Boston, and I was at the circus. The circus. It was like the Ringling Brothers, and like I had just seen that, and it had like one of those little like wand scepter things where like you hold it and there's a globe and it like lights up and spins inside,
Yes,
like one of
yes.
those. And I had animal crackers and they hit, and I remember a few years ago the Dunamis team, we were doing like a field trip day, and I bought us all the little boxes of animal crackers, the little Barnum and Bailey ones, and those shits were dry as fuck. Okay, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Jake, why are you trying to kill us?" And I was like, "This does not taste the same." And I think to Bethesda's point, it's like it's not always just the thing; it's the memory and the moment that
Yeah.
Yeah.
enhances a thing.
Oh yeah.
So it was like ridiculous as that little monologue was. There was that little kernel in there of just like
Right.
profundity that I really liked.
I love that.
But let me just say, as an animal cracker connoisseur, it's the dollar store animal crackers because they
The
also
blue
come in
bag.
chocolate. The blue bag that's like blue, red, white, and yellow or something. Those animal crackers hit. Okay,
I don't like how
with some.
smooth they feel.
I love that they taste so good with some apple juice. I'm trying to tell you, it's the
With some
vibe.
juice. With some juice, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I think with some juice, it elevates it.
So, y'all heard it
Agreed.
first. If you need
I like
animal cracker suggestions, you hit me up, okay?
Got it.
Because I love me an animal cracker.
I like them in my soup.
Monkeys and rabbits, loop to
Loop
loop.
de loop. Okay.
It is what it is. You hear me? But getting into exhibition is wild. But the opening speech from Olakun was so powerful. I was so
powerful.
hype. Like
Morgan killed it.
Morgan is just phenomenal. And
Uh,
I wonder like what was your inspiration for that opening monologue? And was it did I hit the nail on the head of like it feels like the Olympics meets WWE because it's like
Well,
the
funny
flashiness
that
of the
you say that.
WWE.
Uh huh. In the script, this is what I wrote with because sometimes we have like before a transition change, you'll have like where it takes place, so interior, exterior, and then atmo, and atmo just means atmosphere. And this was the note that I gave for Atlantis Arena. The excitement in the arena is palpable. If Beyonce and Taylor Swift did a joint
Yeah.
concert, emceed by Kendrick, opened by Megan Thee Stallion, featuring a surprise performance by Janet Jackson, that might come close to the vibe. So
That's wild. Wild.
that's
He was
like
like,
how it
"You got it."
feels.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Septenary exhibition, a convocation actually, once every 500 years. That means it's more than once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, we live to be 80 maybe, and you know how some fish creatures, some of them could be old, like a Bethesda, but a lot of them be like, I live for 14 days at a time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So to like have your life sync up to a time where like one you get to experience convocation, and then two to watch all of the gods together, and then three fighting the literal like embodiment of like it's insane. And
Yeah.
so that energy kind of just had to be super high. And I think again we've talked about exposition and how I like to like weave it into other moments, and this was another way of like explaining Atlantis and explaining history in a way that felt natural to the universe without hopefully feeling too explainy.
Yeah.
And so just having Morgan like rile everything up on the heels of that anthem felt great,
She
and she
just did a
just
good job.
commanded everything. So
Oh my
she
God.
So
really
good.
touched that and took it home.
Also, I was literally just about to say that anthem. I mean, if you were at One Night in Atlantis, you got to hear it live a cappella, but it was so powerful, and I can't wait to talk to the sound design team. But the sound effects of it and how like it fully felt like you were in like a place with crazy acoustics, and it was just like
Mhm.
rippling off the walls. It was so beautiful and well done.
I actually put that effect on that, and I was worried that it was
Woo!
too much. So I reached out to everybody. I was like, "Hey, y'all," because there's like levels of reverb, and I was just like, "This is a big reverb." But in my mind, it was like if that entire arena was silent,
Yes.
and these singers are just at the center of it on this stage with some microphones, and it's not even a huge choir. It's maybe like 10 people. How would that ring out? How would that echo? How would that feel? And no one said it was too much, so I was glad to hear that. But yeah,
I agree. It wasn't too much. I didn't think it was too much. So I love that.
It was
Love
perfect.
that so
Siobhan was one of the
much.
singers. Petrichor sang that, so that
Yes.
version of
Yep.
it was Siobhan, Jasmine, Jamise, and I.
Okay.
Jasmine, who's already been on the pod before, Jamise, who you'll see when we do episode 9. There was a version that we recorded with the entire cast, but then we changed the arrangement up leading up to One Night in Atlantis, and so we couldn't use that version anymore. So hopefully, we can do another version where it's like
Mhm.
the version with everybody. I think
Yes.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I
That's
fully
probably
support that. And if and when it does, it'll be exclusively released on the Patreon. So if you're not on the Patreon, sign up. I mean, if you're hearing this, you're on the Patreon. But you know what I mean. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend.
exactly.
So getting back into it, the battle clearly takes a turn fast. Bro, his two halves switched opponents. Okay? Okay? The two halves switched opponents. That
It
is
did.
crazy. So it's insane. So I would love to talk about the battle, but also wondering in preparation for the exhibition, did you create a history of how the battles went in the past? Or like did you just have like a general idea that like they were cool and then this one was the one that like went ham?
Mhm.
It's so funny you say that because I'm literally so this weekend. I like have locked myself in this living room, and I'm just like, we're not doing anything until the planning is done. And this is for seasons 2 through exclusive 4. There'll be 4 seasons of the show.
Woo!
And it's deep into lore and backstory, all this stuff, because that's kind of how I function. The short answer is no. I did not think about the previous battles much, largely because I knew that this one was different, and it's different for reasons that will be revealed. But getting to think about like, in the past it was easy. In the past for them, like, they do the thing, they work together, they put it down, da da
Yeah.
da da da. And so this was more about how do you take a base template of just like, yeah, 7 on 1, 7 like gods on one, probably It could be cute, but it probably wasn't crazy. And again, this was also a ceremonial. That's the other thing too. Again, so much of Atlantis is the optics and how things appear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like I was saying that Dante is getting a version of Atlantis from people invested in how it appears, it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of the same. This is a ceremonial battle. They're
Mm-hmm.
not actually, in my opinion, going to televise these gods risking their lives, right?
Right.
Like they're gonna have it so in the bag. They're like, yeah, we might sweat here and there, but this is a show more than anything else. And
Right.
Right.
so now to take it and say, well, what if it's not a show anymore? What if now it actually does become a fight for your life,
Mm-hmm.
publicly with cameras being
Right.
announced everywhere?
Right.
And so that was kind of where we were going with how to make it a little different.
Yeah.
Good grief. I it was truly just insane. And I mentioned a little bit how like this really was a super tense moment. But when Oceanus decided to just start cutting things off and then they turned into other villains, I literally my next question is Jay, why would you Avengers Infinity Wars us? Literally, why would you do that? Okay? Explain.
Woo!
Explain that question. All right?
We get into this more with six, but um, Miguel and I were having a conversation early on when we were thinking of like the themes and stuff about the gods, and he was just saying that like the gods didn't feel godlike, right? Like they didn't feel like, if I imagine God like this omnipotent, untouchable thing, like they were
Mm-hmm.
very person-like. And
Yeah.
to me, I was just like, yeah, I'm very fascinated by that. And even Jay. So Jay plays Mananan, um, and he was struggling too because we watched Mananan have some struggles, and as we were talking about it, I was just like, what you have to remember is that like, try not to spoil it
Yeah.
yet. What you have to remember is that like these gods are being challenged by other gods. And what that does is it then evens the playing field to make them more human. So now we
Mm.
don't have to like worry about what's untouchable, unbeatable. But when
Yeah.
you're playing against people at your level,
Mm-hmm.
then it like gets to make a nuanced story. And so exhibition now really becomes, especially if we're thinking about, okay, this is a ceremony that's been hijacked. For who did that, why they did that, we'll get to. But as it's been hijacked, um, it's now becoming a real battle. And sure, you can keep everybody together, but if I'm thinking about how to fight seven people, it's to not fight seven people. It's to
Right.
not be 7-on-1. It's to how do I break them off? How do I move them out? How do I split this up to give
Mm-hmm.
myself a better chance? And then in thinking about, well, if I am going to split them up, who would be good to take you on?
Yeah.
In a very specific way that
Mm-hmm.
gets at like more than a physical thing to maybe a mental thing to maybe a
Mm-hmm.
spiritual thing
Yeah.
to
Right.
really break these people down.
Yeah.
So that's why. And then I think we get this really interesting thing, I think, of like what happens when you like crack open a god and we get to explore their psyche and their
Woo!
troubles and their whatevers, and really have them struggle. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that then makes them, I think, more interesting characters,
Yeah.
Right.
especially after the grandeur that we've seen them in this entire time.
Exactly. Get to see them in such a vulnerable,
Yeah.
you know,
It
place.
was it's truly I feel like we discussed it maybe the last episode or maybe just in passing, but how like episode 5 is truly the turning point of the series.
Yep.
And in this moment, shit hit the proverbial fan. It was just like, oh, oh, oh dear. Oh dear. And it started already like, you started to see a little bit when Oceanus wasn't really as impenetrable as he was before, and they were like, this is
This
this
is
is weird.
different.
This is
Yeah.
interesting. And then it was just like, and I brought friends. I was like, oh, okay,
It's like you
okay.
thought you was gonna jump me again.
Yeah,
I called TT and them this time. So
literally,
yeah.
literally. And I
Try
was
me
like,
now.
Right.
insane, insane.
Yeah.
Um, I had
Pretty gay.
another. I had another question, but that is truly like a spoiler for next week's episode, so I can no longer
Okay.
ask it. But I'm interested in this is a hypothetical question. I don't know if it's going to come up, but a hypothetical. Siobhan, why do you think it in Sabella's experiences, what was a turning point for her not going to exhibition anymore? Because she was very clear on her thoughts. She was very clear on like what Atlantis truly means and what it does for the people. But I'm interested to know that like what do you think could have been the turning point for her?
Honestly, I think that Sabella has seen, past the flashiness, past like I think that she is really just understanding Atlantis for what it is, beyond what, they want, um, beyond what they want everyone to see. I think that from that point on, like, I think after seeing the reality of just the people in Atlantis and even like maybe even the sovereigns, I just think that like, it doesn't hit for her the way it hits for everyone else. Like
Yeah.
she's seeing something beyond what everyone else is seeing. And I think for her, like, it's just like why I know what this really is, and I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, I just feel like for her it's like this doesn't like affect me or excite me in the way that it does for everyone else because I see you guys. I
Mm.
see you for what it is. Like, this seems to just be a facade, and like I'm not down with that, you
Yeah.
know?
It reminds me of wrestling. I used to like me and my family used to watch wrestling growing up,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
like big deal, like Kane, Undertaker, all those
Oh my
things.
god, yeah.
And I learned that it was fake. It was like actors acting,
Yeah.
and I
Crazy.
couldn't watch again. And I was
Yeah.
just like, well, now that this is fake, like this is a performance, and like
Yeah.
I really thought that Kane was dead and came back to life and was like
Mm-hmm.
fighting his butt, like as an idiot child. But yeah, so I feel like there's a little bit of that of like I've seen how the sausage gets made,
Exactly.
and
And I'm not impressed.
yeah,
Not
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah. And it is clear to me because Dante is a very cerebral person and he catches on to things very quickly. And I
Mm.
found that to be really poignant. I mean, I'm sure he would have came to this idea of his own, but like the justification of the ceremony of fighting Oceanus and how I'm not gonna I don't have the right the exact language, but how like it's easy to justify this being a ceremony when you're able to justify that what you're fighting is not human. It's not a
I,
beast.
I
it's
love
easy to
I
justify
love
ritual
that
slaughter
line.
when the enemy isn't even a person. Yeah,
I love
Yes.
that line.
Yeah. And I was just like, truly, it literally, Siobhan, every episode, there's one line that I'm just like, how are you, where is this coming from? Literally, where is this coming
Yeah.
from?
That was the line for
Um,
me. I was like, But
I
yeah.
mean to that line in specific, when you like look in. It's very unfortunately timely to the society in which we're living in, right?
very,
And when you look at, for example, like the Holocaust, you learn that when people are about to do horrible things, atrocious things, how they justify it is the first part of the process is
Hmm.
to dehumanize.
That
So
yep,
you start calling the Jews rats, I think was the language they were using. And
yeah,
then people start to not associate that person with humanity, and then it just then makes it easier to do things because then you're not doing it to a person, you're
right.
doing it to a thing.
the
It's
thing,
easy to
And
detach. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know that Oceanus isn't or is a thing or a person, but I think it would be very easy to make yourself feel better about it if you said it wasn't a person. And I
Hmm.
think largely Dante's arc across the entire show is around, I always say he's people smart. And I think it's around him and his empathy, his
yeah,
understanding or lack thereof of
Yeah.
people, and his relationship to that. And so I think it was interesting for him as an outsider to really think about like, well, again, with what Sybella was saying, I know you got new eyes, but use them well, and just being
yeah,
like, well, if
Exactly.
I were to look at this, Is this Kool-Aid that we've all drunk to like just turn
Yeah.
up and not really think about just one person being beat up every 500 years? Or, all right. But, this is not my circus on my monkeys. This is very much
Right.
the end of it. Just like, that's not, but just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, before we get into this mini game, any other questions across the board for anybody?
Um, yes, I want to, because the other like tiny, tiny little thread that's happening in this episode too is still Selwyn and Dante, right? And there's some
Yeah.
moments where they're bickery a little bit and trying out
Yes.
this whole friendship thing, and
Yes,
there's
yes,
this
yes,
like
yes,
little
yes.
moment where Selwyn is like holding his hand in fear, and he's like, "Oh, not my heart jumping,
Right.
not my heart's jumping a little
Yeah.
bit." So Sybella, as somebody who kind of has a relationship with both Dante and Selwyn. I'm wondering what it's like. Do you think for Sybella to like see those things? Um, what does Sybella think of Dante and Selwyn's relationship?
Yeah.
What you can answer, unspoilery.
I know. I think that she feels I think that she has her own like feelings towards Selwyn. Um and so I think for her, I don't know, I think it's really just you know, like I know that you're new here, Dante, but like just like be careful, keep your eyes open with Selwyn. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a bit of a conflict just because of like how she views Selwyn as just like this stoic, like, he doesn't really, you know, he's very much about the job and like, he hasn't opened himself up to like, um to everyone, and like he's just very like, just to himself and very like what's the word, like militant, I guess. And so yeah, I think for her she's just like, I don't know. I think there's just a conflict there of like, that's cute, but Selwyn is, he's a bit closed off. So just,
Yeah.
you know,
But do you think there's a little hope there?
hope for
I
what?
because I do think that through Dante, Selwyn is being a little more tiny, tiny, tiny bit more open, a little more human.
Hmm.
Sabella mentions that the Septentry uses his stoneness almost as a weapon or
Hmm.
something they can wield, but we see that with Jay there's a softness that he's allowing to happen, and he's learning. It feels like he's learning a nuance and
Hmm.
how you know a variety of experiences and emotions could help him and benefit his work moving forward. Like he doesn't just have to be a stone.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you see like some hope there in that.
I think she does. I think that she is noticing like the bit of softness that is happening with Selma when it comes to Dante. Yeah, I think there's that, but then I also think too just the overall view that Sybella has towards just the people in Atlantis too. I think that there's that, and then I also just think, yeah, I don't.
Too much to say,
Yeah,
you can't spoil it.
yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
I think
This
it's
is
the
a developing conversation.
yeah,
yeah,
and I think as the story rolls out that it's gonna be more visible, like that conflict there that she has with someone. But I do think that like, you know, she is peeping like, the bit of chemistry that's there for
yeah,
sure, you know?
Yeah, I think Dante, if Atlantis is a lake, Dante is a stone that is tossed into it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like changing things up a bit. And I think that's interesting to watch play out. My last question, because we talked about it a little bit before we started shooting, how did you feel about Geneva and Francesca as these? as these hosts. We just
Love them.
met these folks for the first time.
I love them so much. I think the part that cracked me up was oh my goodness. Was it Geneva that she's just talking about like, you know how I can get emotional and she's like, yeah, Geneva, you can get emotional. And Geneva's like, okay, okay. Like
Yes,
Too much,
yes, yes,
not too
yes,
much.
yes. Yeah.
it's just that back and forth. Like they're so different, but just perfect. They're perfect together as
I
hosts.
love
So yeah.
writing for them, and
Uh so good.
that like not too much. That was improv by Kira. I don't think I had that in the script, so that was just me vibing
Ooh.
off it a little bit.
And this is why
Yeah, they're so good.
they're so good. They're so good.
Oh, gosh.
So
All
hilarious.
right. Well, I love that. And if there's no other questions, we're just gonna get into the song
Oh,
association. So for this week's mini game is song
Hilarious.
association.
Hilarious.
Um,
okay. All right.
because you are both two of my best friends and you're both singers, and I was like, why not? So I have some words, and I'm a nicer human than Terrell is. Shout out to Terrell. So I
Yeah.
will give you 12 seconds to figure out, because I'm a
A
lady.
second more.
Um,
A whole
You're
luxurious
too generous.
12.
because
You're
I
too
love you.
generous.
Okay? So I'll give
I
you
feel bad
12
about that.
seconds to figure out a song, with
It's gonna be
the
me.
words. It's he doesn't have to. I believe in you,
He
okay?
was all listen, he was having his own concert yesterday. Like he's ready for this. He songs are fresh in the brain right
It's
now.
funny that she says that because I literally have coined a phrase called "voncerts" that happen in our house, where there will just be days, typically while she's working, where it's just we get a whole concert, and I call them "voncerts." So crazy how
Okay.
she's trying to throw that back at me, like I'm the one.
I
Mm, mm,
know he's still like it, man.
mm.
Okay. Listen, Linda.
We gonna see.
We
We
shall
gonna
see.
see.
We shall see.
All right.
Okay. So the first word is heart.
Calling all hearts with
Ooh.
That's a
hearts.
good one. Yes. Oh,
That
that's
Let
true.
us flow.
it works.
Let
I
us
have one, but like I only remember, and it's heart to heart. That's why I didn't do it because that's all I remember the words for. But it's called
Mm.
Heart to Heart from 9 to 5, the musical.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All
Okay.
right.
Oh, unbreak my
Uh-huh.
There you
heart.
That's
go. That's a good one. That's a good one.
To
That's a
me.
good one. Okay, the next question is style. It's a bit harder.
Style. Oh, I feel like American Boy has style. Uh,
What?
style,
I feel like she says style in that song. You got style, you got class, you got style, really bad. Ain't
Yeah,
no other man, it's true. Ain't no other man
Nothing
but you.
but you.
you got that. You got that.
Okay.
Do they
With
say
Stephanie.
style in American Boy?
I think so.
I don't know if I
There's
know the
also there's also style in gosh, the Roberta Flack song that Lauryn Hill did the cover of.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just killing me softly.
Killing Me Softly.
lyrics.
And then there's the third story cover of Style by
Is that a Taylor Swift song?
I think so.
Oh,
I
that's
I
fine.
only know it because of
Name
third
the song.
story.
No.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. The next word is touch.
Touch me just like that. And that, oh yeah. Yeah, it's magic. It's from it's called Touch Me. From Spring Awakening. Another musical.
Mm,
Okay.
I got ding 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 touch ding 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 touch.
I was thinking that. I was just like, you, Siobhan, come on.
I know, but he was too quick. He was too quick.
'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling. Every
Man, I
time
forgot
we
about that
kiss,
too.
I swear I can fly.
Yeah. All
Listen,
right.
And that
Okay.
okay.
kind of, you
Next
know,
word is world.
we are the world.
I'm part
We
of
are the
your
children.
There
world.
you go.
I was just singing that the other day.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
You see?
Uh,
Well, he didn't even use that song, so.
right, right.
Mhm.
Okay,
because there's just
the
so many I have in my Rolodex.
Mhm.
uh, the last word is ocean.
Ocean eyes. That's all I
Dang.
remember of that Billie Eilish song.
I was like, does the
Um,
anthem have ocean in it?
What a great question.
I
I
think it
think no.
does.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It's not like a
Dang it.
rhyming word.
Well, look what you did. Great opportunity.
You know what I
Well,
did? It seems like I won is what I did.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
taking
It
over.
was a bit of a landslide. It's a bit of a
And then-
landslide there.
See, Siobhan, if you're gonna take us out the hood, you need to be better at games like this. You
Okay,
need to be
well,
Wowza,
ready.
uh,
wowza.
You need to be ready for these
I love how it's
moments.
still on me to take everyone out the hood.
Always on
Meanwhile,
you.
she
Always
got
on
a
you.
milkshake company. He got a like, come on, come on.
Together we can.
I'm passing the torch to you. Okay.
Together we
Right behind
can.
you.
We'll
Right
hold
behind
it
you, bro.
together. Si se
Right
Right.
behind
puede.
you,
Not si se puede. Okay.
bro.
Well, that is the end of the song association game or our mini game. Jay won by a landslide. Hopefully, we will bring Siobhan back
Landslide
and
brought
we'll
me the
try this again.
win.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
That was even though I lost.
it's okay. It's okay. But any final thoughts? Want to promote anything, Siobhan? Let the folks know where to find you. What you got coming up?
I am on Instagram. I'm on Facebook.
As
Instagram.
what? What do you want Instagram as?
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna get there.
Okay.
I do have my personal page, which is Vonnie Girl 123. I have my artist page, which is at Shavonne B Singing. So check that out. There's like my performances and things like that. Also, I am a certified Zumba instructor, and I've been teaching classes monthly. So I will be having another class coming up. The date is to be announced. And I'm also going to be performing this summer at what is it called?
JP Porch
In the
Fest.
Yes, I'm in the process of curating some performances for JP Porch Fest, and applying for another performance that I forgot the name of it. What is that?
We Make Noise Festival. Fingers
We
crossed.
Make Noise Festival. So that will all be announced on my artist page and my personal page. So yeah, follow me on that to get also Zumba classes. I promote my Zumba classes on both of my pages. So follow those pages to get updates. And yeah,
All
I
right.
hope to see everyone
Noise.
there. Hope to see some new
Ah,
Yeah.
viewers.
absolutely.
Exciting.
Yeah,
Everything I would talk about that's not this, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about yet.
hilarious.
The press release. Well, actually, no. I can't say it because by the time this airs, those things would have. So, yes, on April 24th, might not think that's the date. Let me check my calendario. On April 24th, it's not the 24th. That's awkward. It's the 29th. On Tuesday, April 29th, there's going to be a kickoff party happening at Trinity Church, which is the big, beautiful church right by Arlington. Is it Arlington Church? It is the Arlington Street Church. That is
Mm-hmm.
the name of that church. It is Arlington Street Church.
Okay.
There's going to be
Okay.
this big kickoff. There's going to be free food and performances. And the
Okay.
kickoff is to celebrate the Arts Action Consortium. It is a group of
Ooh.
6 organizations, including Dunamis, that for the next 2 years are going to be bringing artists across the city. This is in partnership with the Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture. Just workshops, consultations, brand new cohorts, like socially eventy thingy-majiggies, and it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
So save that in your calendar,
I
Tuesday, April
bet.
29th.
What time?
Awesome.
The time, 6 o'clock. It's from 6 to 8. I know that much
Okay.
off the top of my head. And
Beautiful.
RSVPs, I will include it in the comments below when we post this episode.
There we
Okay.
go. Love it. And this is in Boston, Mass. So
It's in Boston.
if you are near, far, we love you. If you are ever in Boston, look us up and see what we're doing. But thank you both. Thank you so much, Siobhan, for joining us.
Thank
This
you for
was
having
a
me.
lot of fun. Y'all,
Yeah.
she was nervous. And me and
I
Jay were
was,
like,
yo,
literally why? Literally
Oh,
why?
I was nervous.
Well,
Ugh.
you were a gem to talk to, so it was
I was
unnecessary.
like stupid. I'm gonna forget who my character is. Like, who is
okay.
Sybella? But no,
Okay.
it was super fun, and
And
I just
Siobhan
love.
will be back the finale episode, I think.
I
Yes,
think so, yeah.
So
Yeah, so we will be talking to Siobhan
woo!
again.
Siobhan will
I'm
come back.
excited about that.
But remember that as listeners of Dante's stories, you are now among a community of adventurers and story seekers. As you move through the world, remember the words of Sybella, and remember that not everything is always as it seems. So keep your eyes open. You are needed. We stand with you. Adere est facere, and so we dare, and so we do.
Amen.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
friends.